Hello and welcome to my masterclass. Today, quick closing with confidence in person and online. My name is Darren Roberts. I'm the master trainer at Impact Training Corporation and the National Sales Academy. And as you probably know, we help businesses maximize their income through specializing in sales, leadership, and communication skills. And while we do that over many industries, my background is in the health and fitness industry. So with 25 years plus experience there, today is the focus for the health and fitness industry. Now, I know that there's a couple of people that have registered that are outside of the industry. Don't worry. What I'm going to teach you is applicable to your industry as well. Whether you do face-to-face presentations, online presentations, proposals, then there's plenty that you're going to take away to increase your conversion there. And really today, I'm focusing on the different ways of price presenting. Whether that's, as I said, in person, face-to-face, whether that's online, via Zoom or other methods. And also the different types, be it a written presentation, a pre-printed tariff presentation, or even a verbal presentation. And the reason that I'm doing this is, as I said, you might have seen a video I did leading up to today's masterclass, is that the fitness industry is getting really competitive again. As we know, through COVID, then there was some slight changes and some slowing down to the industry. But boy, oh boy, it is back. And I know of, even in my local area, 3 huge clubs that have just opened. And I know of franchises that are just about to launch, new franchises that aren't around yet. I know I've got some people on this masterclass from those franchises. So it's getting more and more competitive, right? So whether you are from those new businesses or whether you're an existing fitness business and seeing the increase in competitiveness around the place, you need to be able to present your product with great value. You need to give the potential member a reason why they should join you over the club or studio down the road. But here is the problem. Just last week, I went out and about and I popped in to visit some of these new clubs and studios. And most of those clubs and studios, some of which had hundreds of thousands of dollars invested in them, some millions, the staff member didn't find out why I was there. The staff member either didn't give me prices, membership prices, or they just gave me a flyer with 8+ options on it. None of the places I visited recorded my name or number, so they have no opportunity to follow me up to see how I went and if I want to join and be a member of their fancy new club or studio. And I visited some existing ones as well. So all this money that is going into these businesses, be it existing or new, there's massive risk there. So I'm going to take that risk out for you, and I'm going to make sure that your closing sequences and your price presentation in lots of different varied forms is really on point, which is awesome. So thanks for joining me. Please make sure you've got lots of notes. I put the webinar in speaker view, so you'll be able to see my slides nice and big as well. Please write heaps and heaps of notes because all of my training is about implementation. And we've only got an hour together, so we'll be moving through pretty quickly. So let me share my screen for you. So as you know, quick closing with confidence in person and online. We're going to go through both. It is a new mindset and new results because previously in our fitness industry, we were kind of scared of the online space, weren't we? In years gone by, we thought, gee, if our members were able to access training online, they're less likely to come into the club. But of course, COVID changed that and we needed to go online. We needed to service our members and clients online. And that's continued even with our clubs and studios back open again. But the big change is we also need to be able to present and influence decisions online and sell memberships online. Face-to-face is always best, but from an opportunity perspective, then an online presentation is important as well. So I'm going to give you both of those skills today. And that's why there's a slight shift in the mindset. Now, the buying triggers, there are 4 buying triggers used by customers when making a purchasing decision. And it's a balance of the 4: price, value, convenience, and quality. But that is not the order. So really quickly, write down what you think the order is of importance of price, value, convenience, quality in your potential members and members making a purchasing decision. Quickly do that now. What do you think the order is? What's the most important? Well, here's the answer. It's VCQP. VCQP. V for value. So value is the number one reason people will join your club. So my question to you is, how much value are you creating? Because when I visited clubs, and I visit clubs all around Australia and work with them online internationally as well, so I'm around lots of clubs, and the ones that aren't working with us, often, like I experience, are just handing out a flyer or just giving a price. And if we're doing that, it's a logical decision, right? So the cheapest wins, and the cheapest winning is no good for any of us. So we need to create value. So what are you doing in your clubs and studios to create value? Yes, for your clients, of course, for retention and experiences, but also in that initial conversation, which leads then to the price presentation. So V for value. We know that people will go past 2, 3, 4, 5 different health clubs to go to the health club they want, and the one they feel connected to, and the one that they feel value in, because of that experiences. We know, we go to past 2 or 3 cafes to go to our cafe, because that's where we feel value. That's where we feel connected. We go to past 5, 6, 7 hairdressers to go to our hairdresser, because our hairdresser knows our name. They know it. We have a good conversation. They know how we like a haircut, whatever the situation might be. There is value there. So how do we create value? How are you creating value with what you're doing currently? Now, from a fitness perspective, fitness industry perspective, convenience is the next most important, because our members and clients need to visit us 2, 3, 4 times per week. If you've got online products and they're training online, well, convenience is not as much of an issue. And then quality of your services, experiences, the quality of the club is important. But I've seen plenty of clubs and studios with not high quality equipment that have massive membership numbers, great retention, great experiences, because they're creating great value. And P for price is the least important. P for price is the least important. So as long as it's not a condition, and the condition means they literally can't beg, borrow, or steal the weekly investment to be a member of your club and studio, that's a different conversation. But if it's a value conversation, then people are willing to pay more to experience your club and service because of the higher level of value. So part of what I'm going to teach you today is to make sure you're aware of how do you create value in a price presentation, which is a very logical, can be and often is a very logical way of presenting. So let me give you a bit of background. Some of you know this, but the more you hear it, the better. And for some of you, it will be new. All of our best practices are based on an understanding of how us as humans make decisions, our decision-making biology. And we know that there's 2 parts of the brain that are involved in decision-making. The neocortex, we call the red brain, so it's right, red brain there, is all about logic, facts, features, data. And what happens with these new clubs and studios is because it's all shiny and new, then they fall into the trap of only talking about red brain logical information. The facilities, the paint job, the square meters, the foundation memberships, all good stuff, but it's red brain. The other part of the brain, the limbic brain that you can see, we call the green brain, that's all about emotions and feelings. Now, the understanding that you need, and please reinforce this, even if you're not, write it down, 100% of decisions are made through an emotion. 100% of decisions are made through an emotion, a feeling, and 0% of decisions are made purely in logic. So the way to increase value is to present emotionally. We're always going to talk logically, but you need to connect that to an emotion that your potential member has expressed they want to move towards or move away from. Red to green, we call it, logical to emotional. And we need to do that in the price presentation as well. The other understanding of decision-making is that avoiding a negative emotion, avoiding something they don't like, which might be their current feeling without training with you, avoiding a negative, avoiding a pain, is the greatest motivator of human behavior for a quick decision. So if you want less follow-up, if you want to help people make a decision today about joining your club and studio, let's make sure it's emotional, mainly positive, but for a short period of time, you're really understanding what are the ramifications of not starting training with you and getting your potential member to express that to you. You need to have a system in place to do that. So speaking of systems in place, here are the 8 steps of selling in the fitness industry and other industry. It's really fast. It's sped up. Even the whole process, including overcoming objections, can be done in 15 minutes or less. We're really going to focus on this front end, the right-hand side, and particularly on the price presentation. But the price presentation is only 2 to 3% of the success of your sales cycle and your ability to have someone make a quick decision about being a member of yours. That's what we're focusing on today because it's done so badly, but it'll be wrong of me not to just touch on the other parts that have create success in your sales cycle. So let me quickly whip through it. Now, this sort of stuff you should know. So I'm expecting you to know it. So I'm not going to teach it to you. I will teach you the price presentation. If I say something you don't know, then give me a call afterwards and I can explain it to you. So what we need to do, and you and your team need to do to create value, is for them all to be seen as experts in the industry. Now, some feel that they are and some may feel that they're not. It doesn't matter. We're not going to lie to the potential member. The way to have you and your team seen as an expert in the industry is for you to teach them, the prospect, the potential member, something they don't know. And from a retention perspective and an experience perspective, teach your members that as well. But today we're talking about new members. So to be seen as an expert, your team have to teach your potential members something they don't know. That can be done on the phone, that can be face-to-face, that can be done through text, social media messaging, emails, Zoom. So here is the key, and please write this down. As soon as you know the bare basics of what your potential member wants to achieve, weight loss, strength, fitness, flexibility, whatever, the bare basics, that's the perfect time to teach them something. As soon as you know what they want to achieve, great opportunity to teach them something. You can teach them something anywhere, but that is a really perfect place to do it because it gets their attention quickly. Now just have a think about if you shopped the club or studio down the road, do the team members sound like experts? Do you get the feeling that they're experts? I bet they don't. So you need to. The way to do that is to be seen as an expert by teaching the prospects something they don't know. And of course, you've got to connect that to your unique selling points. What are you the first or the only or the longest or the shortest in your area to have or to do? And what I suggest you do is to create a cheat sheet or a teach sheet. The 5 or 6 main reasons people inquire at your club or studio, 2 or 3 facts that you can teach about each of those areas, and some USPs down the bottom of your teach sheet. Have that around the areas where your team are going to be doing phone calls and face-to-face presentations. And that is a really easy way to have a cheat sheet where your staff can be seen as experts by teaching things that the member doesn't know. So as I said, this part we're whipping through pretty quickly. We'll spend some good quality time on the price presentation. Now, remember, if you say it, they doubt it, but if they say it, it's true. So part of your skill set is about communication, and it's about leading a conversation and having that other person involved in the conversation like it's their idea. So what we want to do is we want to have your potential member feel like they've chosen to buy, not feeling like they've been sold to. Part of that process is qualification and some discovery questions, whether it's an exercise history or needs analysis or how can we help you, whatever you call it. And there should be a written component to it as well, is asking those discovery questions, building a bit of rapport, asking some discovery questions, because we can't do a green brain emotional price presentation if our potential member hasn't shared what emotions they want to move towards and move away from. So part of that needs analysis qualification. And by the way, the qualification is over 80% of the success of your sales cycle, over 80%. And that includes that rapport and mutual commonality. It includes the linking in process where we take them back to a time where they felt the best they've ever been or better than they do now. They commit to where they want to get to with using our help, i.e. being a member. We use the 4 W's and a H, which is the most powerful discovery questions you can ask to help generate that emotion and have your potential share that emotion. So the 4 W's and a H. Now, the big how, as you know, goes from a negative emotion to a positive emotion. So we're dealing with all the decision makers. Sometimes it can go from a positive, negative to a positive, but we're including the positive feelings and the negative feelings, which is where our potential members and ourselves are making those decisions. So again, it's not a teaching on this. I hope you know this already. If you don't, let me know. I can help you with it. Here's some new qualifying phrases that are working really well. You can add this into your conversations in your discovery questions. Hey, listen, you seem to be the type of person that likes to take some quick action. So how about next step? So it's a pre-framing that they take quick action. Hey, you seem to be the type of person that likes to take some quick action. So what I'm going to do for you is, and it's moving them in the right direction. A great question to ask is just a breakout question. Hey, by the way, if you don't train here with us, what's your plan B? And in most cases, they won't have one. I'll still, be trying to do it at home. Okay, so I'll take it that's not an option for you then. And they'll say no. So there's these small commitments they're making, which moves us in the right direction. And something that's working really effectively is asking them, once you've built enough value, even before you go on a tour, even before you do price presentation, is okay, so what do you feel, given everything you've shared with me, what do you think the right next step is for you? And in most cases, they're going to say, well, listen, I really need to join, or you need to tell me what the prices are. So again, it's not ramming anything down their throat. It's not selling. It's having a conversation, building value so that they are choosing to buy. Of course, once you've done your qualification, over 80% of the success of your sales cycle, off we go to do some proofing and be a solution to the outcomes that they're after. And that's through your touring. You go on a tour, you hotspot, you give some experiences in your club or studio, and at least 3 times you explain different features of your club or studio in what we call a Phoebe scenario, which is essentially red to green brain. Feature, benefit, red brain, emotion, green brain, and then a bit of a tie down to get them into yes momentum. Red to green, get a yes agreement. Again, I'm assuming you know this, but I just wanted to make sure the pieces are in place before we do price presentation. Something that so many clubs and studios miss out on from a secondary spend, extra income, but also to increase conversion, is giveaway cafe. I'm going to go a bit of a deep dive into giveaway cafe shortly. So we'll go through that. Then, of course, at the end of the tour, we do some transition questions. We make sure that if there's anything they need to ask or any questions they have, anything they haven't seen, that they ask that now before we do price presentation, so there's no surprises when we do price presentation. And then, of course, we're ready to launch into that price presentation. So let's run through that. It's a bit of a quick recap. Speaking of recaps, after the tour, before you go into the price presentation, please recap what they've told you, what's important to them. And by the way, this is part of the small decisions they're making, a commitment to take the pressure off. The last decision they're going to make is whether they're going to be a member of your club or studio. So when we get back from the tour, we do a little recap. Hey, listen, just wanted to recap what we spoke about so I know exactly how I can help you. You said you're coming in 3 days a week. What days are they going to be? And they'll tell you, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever they say. Now, a great little question, a qualification question is, okay, out of those days, which day is best for you to see the trainer for the first time? Or out of those days, which day is best for you to do your first group fitness class? And just by them choosing a day, they feel like they're already going to be a member of the club or the studio. Okay, in time, you said you're a morning person. What time is that? 7 a.m. before work. All right, fantastic. Great time. Sun's coming up. Everyone's in a good mood. Club's really vibrant. Perfect time to come in. Results, you're going to recap the results they said, the 4 W's. All right, so you said you're looking at losing that 15 kilo and increasing that tone. You said arms, legs, and stomach was kind of an area that you're not so happy with. And all this is about February 23rd for Fiji when you're going away with your partner, all right? So you're just going to recap what they said. Then the how is how they said they're going to do it. All right, so you said you're going to do weights and cardio twice a week, and then you said once a week you're looking at either PT or group fitness. Is that right? Fantastic. And then you're going to link it back to the emotion, because green brain is 100% of decision making. Okay, great. So you can see how doing that 3 times a week is going to fast track that weight loss, increase that tone, have you really comfortable for Fiji with your partner. So we recap it back to the green brain, because we know that's where 100% of decision making takes place. All right, let's talk price presentation. I'm going to take you through some different ways of doing your price presentation. Now, initially, we're going to talk about a written price presentation. So let me just give you an understanding of VAK. Some of you understand VAK: visual, auditory, kinesthetic. There's 3 different ways people like to take on information, and usually they need 2 of those 3 to make a quick decision. So visual, they like to see things, colors, movement. Auditory, they like to hear the information. Kinesthetic, they like to be hands-on and to feel the temperature of the water, put some dumbbells in their hand, get on a treadmill, create more emotion. Now, even for a really experienced communicator, it's difficult to pick up quickly if someone is visual, auditory, or kinesthetic, or which 2 of those 3 they need to make a quick decision. So best practice to create maximum V for value is to do all 3. Have a visual component, so they're writing things down, they're seeing things. Have an auditory component, you're always going to talk it through, and a kinesthetic component. Now, even holding a pen and writing things down helps those kinesthetic people. So best practice is to have a written part as well as a verbal part. However, I'm going to take you through pure verbal parts as well, just an auditory presentation. So this is our exercise history that we teach lots and lots of clients to have, which has the discovery questions on the front and the recap and price presentation on the back. Let's talk Giveaway Cafe. Giveaway Cafe is an opportunity for secondary spend. So it increases income to the business. It increases value, strangely enough. It does increase value that the member experiences, and increases experiences and retention. And it also increases conversion if you present it before your price presentation. Let me show you how to do that. So what we want to do with secondary spend, you have your primary spend, which in most clubs or studios is membership based, right? But then you have some secondary spend. Now, PT could be secondary spend, massage, nutrition. There's a whole lot of things that can be secondary spend. I've got some examples here. Now, what you want to do, you can have this secondary spend as things within your club or studio, or you can have partnerships with local community businesses like the cafe or the massage therapist or the beauty place or whatever it might be. And through your contract agreements, they're giving you an opportunity to give discount to your members. Now, what you want to do is you want to have this giveaway cafe on the tour. And we want to make sure that your potential member or client knows that there's some new member benefits. And as a member, you get such and such. It might be 50% off nutrition. It might be a program. It might be massage. It might be shopping tours at your local shopping or nutrition seminars. Could be some supplements that you have either internally or externally. Again, if it's internally, then great, you get the income yourself. If it's externally, it's increasing conversion and giving another reason for that person to be a member of your club. It could be other clubs within your club or studio, like run club or walk club or cycle club, whatever it might be. So I want you to think about what can you do. It could be different challenges. I know lots of you are running these challenges. So it could be a discount on your first challenge. You might have a hairdresser within your club or studio, or you might be able to connect with one outside and you get a discount on your initial haircut as a new member, or spray tans or coffee, whatever the case might be. Now, what I want you to do, how I want you to use this is I want you to have a little area in your club or studio that you go to on the tour before the price presentation. And then you say to your potential member, hey, listen, by the way, as a new member of the club, then you get some great benefits. You get a 25% discount on ABC massage down the road. You get 30% discount off our nutrition pack and our supplement pack, which is fantastic, and a 15% discount at Lorna Jane down the road, whatever it might be. So what you've just done is explain it's a member's benefit, a member's discount. But then the question you want to ask them is an alternate choice. So out of those 3 vouchers, which one would you like first? Now, if they know that it's members only, and they've answered your question, I'd like the Lorna Jane, I'd like the massage, whatever they answer, then again, they've decided to be a member and you haven't even presented prices yet. So it increases conversion. It increases income for you if those things that they're purchasing are within the center and studio, and increases experiences. The customer, the member feels like they've got greater value because I've got more out of it. Okay, so create an explanation, create a spot in your club or studio that they need to stop and you have a conversation with them. Hey, by the way, as a brand new member or client, we've got some great things for you. You get to choose some vouchers. Now at the moment, we've got some 20% off here and 30% off here and X% off here. So listen, for you as a new member, which one would you want to have first? Oh, I'd really love that massage. All right, fantastic. Here's your voucher. All I need to do is to add your membership number on, which I'll add shortly. Then move on. Suddenly you've increased income, you've increased experience, and most importantly, they've decided to be a member before you've even presented price presentation. So make sure that you are creating things within your club or studio that can be secondary spend or profit centers. Also outside, build some relationships and some contra opportunities with local businesses, and hopefully they're going to do the same for you, so you get some business from it as well. And I said, most importantly, please make sure you're doing that on the tour before the price presentation. All right, next step. Next step we're going to take you through is those different ways of presenting your prices. We've done secondary spend. So we're going to do a written presentation. We're going to do a pre-printed or brochure, or it can be a tablet, iPad, that sort of thing, and a pure verbal presentation. Now, all of these must have an alternate choice. So what happens when we present one option? Then the potential member's decision is, do I take it or not? Do I become a member or not? If we just present one option, do I take it or not? So we've got a higher chance of a no. Whereas if we do alternate choice, and both of those choices are to be a member or a client, then their choice is more likely, which one do I take? Not, am I going to be a member? Which one do I take? Both are memberships. Which one do I take? Versus, am I going to be a member? However, what I'm experiencing is that there's a lot of brochures created, and those brochures might have 10 different options on them, which is too much. So when we get to brochures, I'll talk about that in a bit more detail, but this one is your written price presentation. So make sure you've got a couple of options to present. And by the way, one of those options should be a big package, something that is high value, but high expense. And you'll be surprised how many times people choose that. If they don't choose it, they feel that whatever you're going to present normally, your normal membership, is an even greater value. So come up with something that is great value. It might have PT, massage, clothing. It might be all bundled into one, high value, higher yield for you. But the members, you'll be surprised how often they take it. You take some pressure off your sales. And that's it. Even if they choose the other one, the normal membership, they feel that I've got a really good deal. And let's make sure, given that emotions are 100% of decision-making, that we take out those sales-killing words that we always use if we're not aware of it, like direct debit, like pay, like joining fee, like admin fee. Let's change those. So rather than joining fee, $99 joining fee, rather than $99 joining fee, it's just $99 to get you started. So we don't use the word dollars. We don't write the word dollars. Everyone knows it's dollars. Again, you go to your nicest restaurants in your local area, there's no dollar signs on the menu. Because they want to create an experience. It's more an emotional decision. So same for us in the fitness industry and other, let's take those dollar signs off of your price presentations. Don't use the word dollars. If they save something, they save $200, great, make that as big as possible. Use the word dollars. But if it's what they're spending, then don't use the word dollars, and use just or only in front of it to make it sound smaller. It's just $37.90 per week rather than $37.90 per week. So let's make sure you're assessing your price presentation and taking out sales killing words, all the real logical stuff, and replacing it with something else. Now, hear me strong. We want your members and potential members to be really clear on what they're after. We're not trying to mislead anyone, but we're just changing the words to reduce the red brain of those sales killing words. All right, let's keep moving. So as I said, written price presentation. So let's assume you've done all of that. You've done the whole process up to now. How are we going to do that price presentation? Well, when it's written, it's real. As I said, visual, auditory, kinesthetic. So that will increase conversion. If they've filled some information out, if you've written extra notes on it from what the answers to your questions, and then you do a written price presentation. So on the back of exercise history, then we use the T-bar price presentation. Now, by the way, this T-bar is designed with some psychology in mind. So whatever is at the top or the bottom are not ongoing investments. It's a one-off investment. So it could be what we would know in the clubs as a joining fee, not that we're going to talk about it like that for the members, and it might be a PT pack, for instance. So once-offs, we put at the top of the bottom, and then our alternate choice is our memberships. Now, again, it's best to have some sort of green brain name for your memberships, not just direct debit and paid in full, or 3 months and 12 months, because that's purely red brain, right? We'll explain the terms of it, and how we explain each one is name, explanation of name in like minimum terms, etc., the amount, so how much it costs, and then we're going to add a green brain. Then as we go to the next side, and by the way, the one on the right-hand side is the one that you'd prefer the member to take. It might be the more expensive one, or the longer minimum term, whatever it is in your business. The one you prefer them to take should be the one on the right. For 80% of people, the left is the past, the right is the future. So you'll increase conversion of the one on the right just by putting it on the right. So that's why the T-bar is designed that way. So name, explanation of name, might be minimum term, amount, and then extra green brain. So let me give you an example, and you can put your own numbers on here. So this is a club that I work with regularly. So between you and I, a $99 joining fee, not that we talk about the joining fee, we wouldn't term it that. They give an opportunity with a 3-pack of personal training where they get 2 sessions and get 1 free. So there's an extra saving of $75 there. Then they have 2 ways, a flexi, which is no minimum term and ongoing, just $22.90 per week, and a gold, which is minimum term of 12 months and ongoing, at $19.90 per week. Now, when they present the gold, they have the opportunity of dropping the 99 to 0, also saving that $3 a week on the gold and the 75 on the PT, so a total saving of $330. So what's best practice is that you write this out as you explain it on the T-bar. Now, the way of explaining it is top, bottom, left, right. Top, bottom, left, right. So let me give you an example. From what you've told me, there's a couple of ways of going that suit you best. Both just have 99 to get you started. Now, that includes your access to the club 24 hours a day, so it's like owning your own club. It includes your first session with the trainer. Speaking of trainers, you've also chosen that initial 3-pack of PT, which is fantastic, really going to get you a great start with that weight loss and the strength, and you get that extra one free, which is awesome. Now, the first way of going is the flexi, as it sounds, nice and flexible, no minimum term and ongoing. It's just $22.90 per week, and that's really going to help with that initial weight loss. However, what most of our members do, and I think, you know, what suits really well for your goals from what you've said, is the gold. 12 months and ongoing, so fits beautifully into your goals, just $19.90 per week. Most importantly, not only save some money, but also going to fast track that weight loss and get you really comfortable for Fiji. Now, with the gold, we get to drop this to 0, so saves you $99. So with that the reduction in the weekly and the PT is a total saving of $330, which is awesome. But as I said, most importantly, fast track that weight loss and get you comfortable and having great experiences on that holiday to Fiji. So listen, what type of person are you, the flexi or the gold? So let's break out of that role play. Top, bottom, left, and then right. Didn't say the word dollars except for what they save. So taking out those sales killing words, but we finish each one with an emotion. Where does that emotion come from? It comes from the answers they gave you in the 4 W's and a H, the discovery questions. So it's all a bit of a flow. Now, what I want you to do is you can put your own prices in there and membership prices in there, whether it's PT, whether it's membership, it's up to you. Now, this one happened to, as a business, prefer them on a minimum term, but you could do the higher yield, or you could do that high value pack that I spoke about a little bit earlier. But that's got to be written. Now, by the way, when we go from the left to the right, so we explain the flexi, we go, but listen, what most people do, the reason I use that language, and some of you would understand DISC behavioral styles, is that an S or a steady behavioral style is 45% of the population, and they like to be followed. They like to do what everyone else does. So given there's only 4 primary behaviors and S is 45%, so it's the majority, then that's a real safe way to influence people. They're followers, they want to do what everyone else does. So what most people do is, what most of our members do is take the gold, and suddenly that person also wants to take the gold. So there's some good effective communication skills within that price presentation as well. What is happening in the real world with those that aren't being trained are not doing this. They're doing red brain, they're giving a flyer, or sometimes they're just telling the price. All the red brain stuff doesn't create any value, and it scares people. The value comes when you take out the red brain, take out the sales killing words, and connect your memberships to the emotion that the potential member wants to move towards and what they want to move away from. Part 2 is the brochure, or you can use an iPad or even a tariff. A tariff is that pre-printed brochure. So it is a way of doing it, but what we don't want to do is have it look like this. Can you write this down? If there's more than 6 numbers on a page, then the brain gets confused. It's paralysis by analysis. So you can have, and hear me strongly, because I get this question a lot. Oh, Darren, should we reduce our membership options then? Because I've got this A4 printout of all these different options. Student concession, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, paid in full, direct debit, with group fitness, without group fitness, with crash, without crash. Oh my goodness. And my answer is no, not necessarily. So you can have all the options in the world. You just shouldn't be showing them to every single potential member. So you shouldn't be going, here, these are the ways of becoming a member, which works for you. Don't do that, because it's too confusing, and you'll get people say, oh, I want to think about it. Can I take this away? I got to speak to my partner. So what you should be doing by the time you finish those discovery questions, you should understand the potential member. Do they want to use group fitness or not group fitness? How long is their goals, and therefore which membership would suit them best? Most have long-term goals. So why are we selling a 3-month membership if they have long-term goals? So by the time you get to a price presentation, you should be able to present just 2 or 3 different options. Now that might mean you have different pre-printed flyers, which have those 2 or 3 options on them, or you just cross out, you have these pre-printed, maybe laminated, and you can cross out the options that aren't for them. So really they're just seeing and talking through 2 or 3 different options. Now these ones have red brain, pay in advance. How red brain is that? They have dollar signs on them. So there's some things that are putting people off from joining with these flyers. So if you have flyers, great, I have no problem with flyers, but please make sure you talk it through with that person. Please make sure you get rid of the ones that aren't applicable to them, and therefore you're only talking through 2 or 3 different options. So for instance, like this, heaps of numbers here, right? However, if we had it laminated and we could cross out some, by the time we get to this point, we understand the potential member. So we might know that they definitely want to use group fitness. They've told us that when we've done our exercise history. We might know that they've got a long-term goal. This time next year, they're going on a holiday. So we can say, hey, Mary, there's 3 different ways of going to be a member with us. Listen, this first one, the fitness club, I know you want to use group fitness on a regular basis, so this one isn't for you. And get rid of it, cross it out. So now they're not focused on it. And then we can talk through an alternate choice with 2. I also know you've got this goal in 12-month time of going to Europe, which is great. Hey, both ways have $199 to get started. It includes X, Y, and Z. The first is the saver, just $19.99 per week, and that's really going to fast track that weight loss. But listen, what most people do to have the best experiences and most variety to fast track their weight loss is take the diamond, because it includes massage and salt therapy and sauna, just $29.99 per week. And not only going to fast track that weight loss, you'll have that recovery as well to make sure your training is really consistent. So listen, which works better for you, the team training or the diamond? So you'll notice that the way I explain that is exactly the same as I would explain a T-bar. Top, bottom, left, right. Name, explanation of name, amount, green brain. Name, explanation of name, amount, green brain. It's exactly the same as I explained this pre-printed tariff explanation. So that's the beauty of it. Once you understand the flow of how to talk through a price presentation, it doesn't matter if you write it at the same time. It doesn't matter if it's pre-printed. You've got it there as a template in your brain. You've built a neural pathway about how to explain that by taking the sales killing words out, by connecting each of them to an emotion and having a nice alternate choice there. Let's keep moving. The last one I've got for you is, of course, the pure verbal one. Now, as you know, visual, auditory, kinesthetic, just doing it verbally is not going to maximize your conversion. But I know sometimes, particularly if we have reception teams that haven't been trained or low staffing on a Sunday afternoon or whatever, then sometimes a receptionist just needs to deliver something. What is far best is for your reception teams to be trained in how to do it properly, because it's a fast presentation. Even if it's a pre-printed flyer to help them, maybe if you have full-time sales teams, then they do the written presentation. If you have reception teams that just have to do it really quickly, then that can be a pre-printed flyer, but they're trained in how to explain it, top, bottom, left, right. When they're explaining each of the memberships, the 2 memberships, name, explanation of name, investment, green brain, name, explanation of name, investment, green brain, ask for a decision. Rather than, oh, here's a flyer with all their memberships on it. Let us know if we can help you any further. Yuck. So if it's just verbal, as you know, you can do it. Listen, 2 ways of going that suit you best. Both have 99 to get started. That includes blah, blah, blah. The first is, the second is, so you explain it in the exact same way that either you written or you explained it when you did the tariff, but it's just verbal. Hey, I'm throwing it out there as an option. It's better than just handing them a pre-printed flyer without talking it through, but I've done it in order of importance. Written and verbal best, pre-printed tariff with an explanation second best, just verbal, just auditory third best, because the worst is just handing a potential member a flyer and fingers crossed, hoping that they become a member. Because if we're doing that, we're just giving them a flyer, there's no value. So the decision that I'll make is be based on price. And if that's the case, cheapest wins. And if you're not the cheapest, you lose. The way to get members back is to drop your prices and be the cheapest. And then the competition do it as well. And everyone struggles. That's not what we want to do. We've got to create value so that you can put your prices up and earn what you're worth and have a thriving business and have the lifestyle that goes along with that as well. All right, good stuff. Let's keep moving. Let's talk about online presentations, right? So most of the presentations are done in the club or studio, but we also want to have the opportunity of doing presentations online, be it on Zoom or Teams or whatever it might be. So with the online, here's a few tips for you online. Make sure you've got everything ready to go in the background. So if you've got a PowerPoint you're going to share, if you've got a video you're going to share on Zoom, for instance, let's just use Zoom as an example. You have everything in the background ready to go. You don't want to have to go and find things. Of course, you're going to share things visually. So you've got the auditory component done. You've got the visual component done by sharing things, not just you, your face, but coming on and off screen, like I'm doing through this presentation. We share some screen and I'm in the corner, sometimes come off screen and I have a closer conversation with you. Then when I'm ready, we go back to shared screen and I'll show you some information. That's how you should be presenting as well. It's like a conversation. A great way online and face-to-face is a price stack. So you might list all the things that is involved in a membership and put a total value on that, which would be big. However, as a member, you get it for X, which saves you Y. So you can do a bit of a price stack. Of course, we need to alternate choice when we're doing our price presentations online as well. Same scenario, name, explanation of name, price, and emotion. But what I want you to do at the end is prevent follow-up. So even for those that are presenting online, what they often do is, okay, great, well, I'm glad you're interested. What I'll do is, once we finish up, I'll email you a link and you can take advantage of things from there. And we, fingers crossed, go, gee, I hope they take advantage of that link. But guess what? Something else comes up. They've got to pick the kids up from school, get a work phone call, whatever, and suddenly they're distracted. So what is far better to reduce follow-up and increase conversion at the time you're doing your online presentation is to have the links ready to join. So again, in the background, in your computer, you've got everything. So you've got the Flexi membership link, you've got the Gold membership link. Once you do that price presentation in that example, I say, oh yeah, Darren, the Gold looks like the way to go for me. We go, okay, fantastic. Well, listen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link in the chat. If you're on Zoom and other online formats have something similar, all right, great. I'm going to put the link in the chat. What it'll get you to do is to press on that link now. And then what your potential member's going to do is to share their screen with you, and you can walk them through filling out whatever administration paperwork, etc., is on that link, so that when they have finished the Zoom call, as an example, then they're a member. They've put their debit or credit card details in. They've paid their initial bits and pieces. It's all done and dusted. There is no follow-up. So please hear me strong. It's working really effectively. Don't fall into the trap. I know we're all positive people, but don't fall into the trap of saying, okay, I'll do a great presentation online. Afterwards, I'll email or text them the links to join, and they will. Well, guess what? While we're here, let's finish it off effectively. So have everything ready in the background. I'm repeating it for you. Have all your links ready. Have all your videos or whatever else you're going to use in your presentation to create value. And then once you've done your price presentation, which might be a little PowerPoint, explaining it top, bottom, left, right. When you explain your memberships, name, explanation of name, investment, green brain, name, explanation of name, investment, green brain. So what type of person are you? The Flexi or the Gold? Oh, listen, the Gold sounds good. Fantastic. All right, well, what I'll do, welcome to the club. We're really looking forward to helping you fast track that weight loss, get ready for that holiday next year, most importantly. Listen, what I'm going to do right now, I'll put the link to the Gold in the chat. So press on the chat and I'll walk you through how to do that. And then we'll get you started with your first session with the trainer. Got that link? Yep, excellent. I'll get you to share the screen and I'll walk you through how to do that. By the end of the time the Zoom is finished, the membership is complete. No follow-up to do. How good is that? So please make sure you're putting that into practice. Let's continue with all things online. And just by the way, this is something similar. I'll show you what we do with our Sales Authority Club presentations. So we do Zoom presentations with people inquiring about getting help with our training. So we take them through something similar. If it's a fitness club like yours, we give an example of, we talk through the discovery questions and how's the business going, where do you want to get it to, et cetera, what are the challenges at the moment, what's your conversion at the moment? And if the conversion is low, which it usually is, we talk about, what if you're losing just one sale per day? What does that cost you? And if their membership's $35 a week, or they're under 12-month commitment, there's $1,820. Or if you want to make it big, $1,820 that they're losing per month. And this is part of our presentation. So if you're losing one of those 1,820 per day, well, over 1 week, you're losing not over $9,000. Over 3 months, you're losing almost $110,000. Over 7 months, $254,000 you lost just by not converting, missing out on one membership per day. Now, some of the business owners on this webinar are freaking out, going, oh, we lose more than one member per day that we don't convert, and our memberships are more than 35. So then we go into solution focus. All right, let me tell you about the SAC. This is what it includes. And we do freebies. Remember, red to green, get a yes response about the SAC. We talk about everything that it involves, and then we do a T-bar, 2 ways of going. Easy, doing it bit by bit, or the express, getting it out the way up front. Like, okay, yeah, Darren, I think the easy is the way to go. Fantastic. What I'm going to do is I'll put the link in the chat right now. Press on that, share your screen, and I'll walk you through how to take advantage of it. So again, at the end of that presentation, no follow-up to do. Happy new client. They understand all the details. They filled them all out. Nice, fast. Everyone's happy. They get off the phone feeling, yes, I've made a decision. I know my business is going to fly with some extra help. So we've got to ask for the decision. We've got to remember, as I said to you at the start, although we're focusing on price presentation today, if you do everything else well, it's only 2 to 3% of the success of your sales cycle. So what is more important, and remember that 8 steps of the selling cycle, is to do everything else really well. But again, I'm not seeing it. With the clubs and studios that we work with, they're doing it really well, and they're flying. With the ones that I visit that I'm not working with and just pop into, or inquiries that I get that haven't worked with us yet, they're handing out flyers. They're just talking about prices. They're not qualifying. They're not finding out what is the compelling reason that that potential member wants to move towards, move away from. They're not teaching to be seen as an expert. They're not using USPs. They're not doing the linking. They're not doing the forward others and H. They're not doing the freebies on the tour. They're not doing the giveaway cafe and getting that member to commit to, yeah, I want this voucher. It's members only. They know that, so they've already decided to be a member. And they're not presenting effectively to be able to relate their memberships to the feelings that that potential member wants to move towards or move away from. So I want you to be the owners and managers and people in the industry that are passionate about the industry, which is why we got into it, but also get great outcomes, help lots of people that have a business that is thriving, which is low stress, and you get the lifestyle that should come with a successful fitness business. So right on time, which is fantastic. Feel free, if you have any particular questions, to throw that in the chat. Let me just check the chat as we're here. So feel free to throw those questions in the chat. I've got a couple of things that you can take away as a bit of a gift for you as well. 2 to 3% of the sales cycle is closing and asking for price presentation. But if you have not done the rest well, then this is where the high pressure comes in. It's where people feel, oh, this is where a person's going to say yes or no. Have I done enough? Am I good enough? And then they walk back into the office where they haven't had a brand new member, and they've got to explain it to the boss. And if you're the boss, you think, oh, another piece of marketing that's been wasted by not helping this person get started. So let's make sure you're doing yourself a favor and making sure things are nice and easy. Now, by the way, there's a few things that I can help you with. If you've got some questions about that, we've got some little gifts for you to wrap us up today. The first is the sales growth plan. Now, the sales growth plan is a little opportunity for you to fill out a bit about your business, to talk about what the strengths are in your business, what you're doing well, where your challenges are, and some goals around that. And then what we'll do if you qualify is we'll spend an hour together on Zoom or face-to-face in person, and we will give you a 90-day game plan of 3 to 5 things to implement, which will fast track your success immediately. It's valued over $300, but happy to do it for those that qualify for free. Now, what I'm doing is I'm putting the sales growth plan link in the chat, just like I explained to you to. Now, I'm not selling you anything. This happens to be free for you, but make sure you press the link on that sales growth plan and you'll be able to fill out the details. It takes about 90 seconds to fill out. And then if you qualify, we'll be able to give you some one-on-one time to help you as well. The end of the year is nigh. So to finish 2022 off really strong, and then of course set ourselves up for next year as well. I did talk about in that 8 steps of selling, overcoming objections. Now, as I said, we have a sales authority club. It's a members-based group of fitness professionals, owners, and sales professionals. And it's an online training, but once a quarter, we do face-to-face training. So we have a workshop coming up on the 25th of November, and our CEO and founder, Steve Jensen, is presenting. I'll be there as well. Overcoming objections and close more sales. It's in Sydney. So if you're in Sydney, then I'm giving you a free gift of your opportunity to come along to our quarterly workshop live for free for being on the webinar today. If you're outside of Sydney, then the opportunity there for you as well. Just jump on a plane. The training is on Friday the 25th, as I mentioned, and then you might be able to have a nice weekend in Sydney as well. So these are great. These are really high value days. We do 2 of them in person per year and 2 of them online via Zoom per year. So here is your specific link to register for free. It's usually $295 plus GST for non-members. Members get it as part of their membership, of course. So there are heaps of people in the room for you to learn from as well, which is fantastic. So a nice little free opportunity for you to come along there as well. And the last little thing to give you some extra free training is that we have a specific fitness industry closed Facebook group called Sell More Fitness. So this is where Steve and I have a really strong community instead of fitness owners and sales professionals in the fitness industry. And Steve and I get on there and do some training every week in Sell More Fitness. So again, if you want to join our free Facebook group, Sell More Fitness, then you can do that there. So all those links are in the chat. Press on them, we're good to go. Most importantly, though, is for you to implement. So the first bit I went through quickly because I wanted to focus on price presentation, which is what our training today is about. But we need to do the front end well. So don't cut any corners. The process is faster than it ever has been. But that doesn't mean we cut corners. It means we microwave the process and we do some things a little bit faster. If you're cutting corners, then you're going to reduce value. You're going to be selling more logically, red brain, the neocortex, which means it's going to be more of a price decision than a value decision. If you're not the cheapest in the market, you're going to lose. And I don't want you to be the cheapest in the market. So if you're the cheapest in the market, then there's trouble. I want you to give great value, both with your services and your club or studio, even though the quality of a club and studio doesn't have to be the best out there. You just need to give great value. So if you follow those steps throughout the whole sales cycle that I've given you, and ask me some questions if you're not sure, because I went through that initial bit quickly on purpose, because I really wanted to spend some time on the price presentation. Face-to-face or online, written and verbal, pre-printed brochures and explanation, or even just verbal ways to increase conversion. So we know that this is working really effectively with our clubs and studios. The trouble is there's so many out there that are not doing it and just doing that red brain. What I want for you, whether you're a brand new club or studio just about to launch or just have launched, or you've been around for ages and you've got competition in your industry, in your area, is I don't want you to fall into the trap of doing what seems easy. I want you to spend that little bit of extra time developing yourself and your teams so that they can present effectively, create value, increase conversion, increase secondary spend, have less follow-up to do, and allows you to increase income because you can increase your yield because now we're selling via value not just price. So I'm sure that was helpful. Reach out to me if you have any questions. I'll put my details back up there for you. Take advantage of some of those links. I'm going to be doing some regular masterclasses. So if you have any particular topics you'd like covered, please reach out and let me know. And I said, if you have any questions, then fantastic. Have a great end to the year. I'm sure we'll see each other before then. And if you've got any questions, give us a buzz. Thanks for jumping on. Now it's time to implement. Bye for now.